this is an interesting one. Teammate of Overeem's, teammate of yours, Curtis Blaydes. What are we doing with him?
Oh, I hate Curtis. Can we just take him off the list?
Yeah,
No,
we'll
no,
put him behind
definitely,
Antonio there. What up, Fightful fam? Shaquille Majuri here, but that's not the headline. What's way more important right now is we got Drew Dober in the house. Drew, you have been training with Alistair Overeem over at Elevation Fight Team, so I thought you'd be like the most appropriate person to help me break down Alistair Overeem's UFC resume. First and foremost, how's it going, man?
Oh, it's going great. I tried my best to avoid training with Alistair Overeem
Yes.
because dude can just break me in half just by looking at me. But yeah, it's always a pleasure to train with a guy that you've been watching since you were in like high school. So
Taking a look at Overeem's career, it's insane the bodies he's fought. And so normally what we do is we trim this down to just 10 fighters, but I couldn't do it. Like, if you go through Overeem's career, just the people we didn't include on this list, because we settled on UFC fights, Chuck Liddell, Shogun Hua, Lil Nog, Mirko Cro Cop, it's insane. So
yeah.
I do have a big task for you here. We've got 19 guys on here, so we'll try and get through them in a reasonable time. Before we get going, though, just kind of when you were skimming through Overeem's resume, what are some of the names that stuck out to you?
I mean, just in memory, like not even screaming this, but like in K1, we fought like Mark Hunt and Crow Cop and those monsters at K1. But as you're looking down, he's fought like the who's who of the heavyweight division all around the world. Vitor Belfort, he fought Ego Van Jonchin. I can't pronounce his name, but man, these guys were just like hoo-ha, Sergey. Like he fought everyone, like in Pride and Strikeforce and the UFC. Like there was a heavyweight with a name, he's fought him.
That is true. More than once, probably.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay, so let's get cracking. Time to roll on with the main event. First name we got here, it's an S to D scale. I usually do these off like overall body of work, but if you have criteria that you want to establish, more power to you. Alexei Oleinik, where are you putting this ox of a man?
I feel Linux. I'm gonna have to see. Can you put the cursor on the picture of this guy?
Here he is.
Oh, okay, yeah. Is it the guy that's really good with the darts on bottom?
Yes, yeah, he does the Ezekiel from like left, right, and center.
Yeah. No, obviously, no offense to that guy. I probably put him in the C class just because, he has a really good submission game.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, the lack of striking, wrestling, and youth actually, just doesn't really have him as like a dangerous heavyweight.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I do like the way he just kind of barrels forward like some sort of wild man.
He's entertaining, but
yeah, no, I think that's fair, especially in relation to, and this is an important distinction to make because I think it goes over a lot of people's heads. But these are all kind of relative, right? If he was on this list alone with a bunch of regional fighters, you're gonna have him probably at an A or an S rating. But we got some serious crackers to get through. Andre Arlovsky, where are we putting the Pitbull?
I'll put him in B, just because, man, he's a vet and he knows how to strike, but man, he has not aged well in this career.
Okay, on a sneaky little winning streak off the back of basically just jabbing and not engaging. But hey, he gets paid 6 figures per fight, so I would do the same thing.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, exactly. He's found the recipe to making a lot of money in MMA. Bigfoot Antonio Silva, man, what a fall he's had from grace. But
can I put him in the D?
It's insane, right? Because he was close to finishing Overeem when they fought, but look at where they've both ended up in their respective careers.
I mean, he was a big dude. Like as far as like natural size goes, like he's dangerous. Giant. But I don't know. Just he needs to learn how to use it.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I think he might be one of those cases of a guy who's just naturally so big that his body just doesn't function correctly at this point.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Augusto Sakai, that was Overeem's last fight actually back in September, where we put in Augusto.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was actually a good one, man. Like, he surprised me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really like a close fight. Overeem actually didn't he like show like the veteran and really pull together in the last couple rounds? Yeah, it was
a 5th round stoppage. So I think Sakai kind of had it early, and then Overeem just
it was like the takedown attempt followed up with some striking.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll put him, God, either in the A or B. Let's put him in the A just because we have no one there. But like, yeah, he was
and we
super
can shift
impressive.
him over later if you need to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Sakai put on a really good performance. Fell a little short, unfortunately, for him. Big Ben Rothwell, the king of Croatia, the king of Kenosha, excuse me.
Yeah,
What are we putting
I'll
him?
put him in A, dude. I've always been a Ben fan. Like, super talented, man.
Yeah. What's your favorite part about Ben Rothwell's game? Because it's kind of funky, and I love that.
Oh, his game, more so his personality. Like, just meeting the guy or hearing his interviews, his post-fight speeches, and you can see his personality like during his
He's
fights.
crazy, man.
Like, he's just such a fun guy, so that's why I enjoy watching him.
That's fine, man. That's a good a reason as any to put someone in the A category. Here we go. I think someone who probably had so much potential that he couldn't capitalize on for health reasons. What are we doing with Big Brock Lesnar?
I have to put Ben in B, not Ben, Brock in B. You know, I was never a huge fan. Like, so he had really good wrestling, and of course, he was just a genetic freak. But I just don't think he was built for fighting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's not for everyone. Definitely not for me. Like, there's nothing like watching Joanne Calderwood foot stomp Jessica Ai's knee to remind me why I don't ever want to fight professionally.
Right, right.
Okay, this is an interesting one. Teammate of Overeem's, teammate of yours, Curtis Blaydes. What are we doing with him?
Oh, I hate Curtis. Can we just take him off the list?
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll
no,
put him behind
definitely,
Antonio there.
we're definitely putting him in the S. I think Curtis Blaydes is one of the best heavyweights
Oh, okay.
in the world currently. And man, he's such a dangerous dude. So as far as cream of the crop, heavyweight division, he's an S.
Yes, one of the top guys in the world. And before anyone in the comments section goes complaining about biases, yes. They train together. It's on it. Drew, if it's your honest opinion, I'm not fighting with it. But this is for fun, folks. Don't get
I know. I mean, also, you just look at the way he performs. And, like, he only has 2 losses instead of the same guy.
Yeah.
Everyone else, he just manhandles, you know?
Including, unfortunately, in that fight, Overeem. Oh, man, that was a rough one. I'm glad to see that they're friends now and they're training. This is one of the rare fights I had friends with me for, and the way Overeem's face exploded from those elbows, that was gnarly.
Yeah, oh, that was brutal. Man, those heavyweights can just generate so much power.
Yeah, God.
Glad I'm not one.
Terrifying. It's terrifying. Well, Drew, there's some crackers in your division too, so well, you being one of them. All right, Fabricio Verdum, what are we doing with the former heavyweight champ?
We have to put him in A.
Okay.
He's so talented. I mean, I feel like his resume speaks for itself.
All right. You know what? Let's just give it a little more depth too. Let's organize them in each category too. So I just assumed Verdum would be ahead of Sakai and Rothwell.
Yeah, I think it's actually in order right there.
Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
I think it works.
And same with what do you like about the B category there?
Yeah, I put Andre above Brock just for his accolades.
Now, talking about the one person who's handed Blaydes a couple L's and will be fighting Stipe Miocic for a second time, Francis Ngannou. Where are we putting the heavyweight contender?
Yeah, just by sheer record alone, you got to put him in S and ahead of Curtis.
Okay, you see,
I hate that fact, but
it's true. I like this. This is good honesty. I appreciate it, Drew. You're doing a killer job here. I don't have to wrangle folks in the comment section. Frank Mir, former. Oh, actually, wait. Very quickly before we move on, Francis Ngannou, Stipe Miocic. I'm gonna force a prediction out of you on the fly.
I have Stipe winning that one again.
Mm-hmm.
God, he's got to get past it. I honestly think he did so well in that first fight. I could see him doing it again. But also, according to my predictions, I'm always horribly wrong. So, maybe Ngannou can land his hands, but I put my money on Stipe, just following the same formula.
Yeah, I did so the first time. I will say, Francis has that sort of power that makes you nervous watching him fight people.
Like, I know, especially in the title fight.
Right. Like for 5 straight rounds, Stipe Miocic was winning that. But anytime Francis threw anything, I was watching through the cracks of my fingers.
I know. Especially at the beginning of every round, you start on your feet, and so all that work you put in the first round, you got to redo in the second. And you have to get past those hands.
Yeah, it's like the final boss in Mortal Kombat or something. You just spam the same 2 techniques, hoping that the guy doesn't fire off something.
Oh, right, but oh
Okay.
god, it's intense.
Okay. Frank Mir, former heavyweight champ, true legend
I
of the
put
sport.
him in C, but like rank one. Yeah,
Okay.
just like
There
ahead
we
of.
go. Why?
Just because former champion, just more wins. He has a win over that Brock Lesnar. I consider Frank Mir in his prime a better competitor.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's fair. Jairzinho Rosenstruik.
Ooh, bless you.
What?
I have to let me see that picture again.
It's the dude who was winning like
Oh,
24 minutes and 59 seconds before, or Overeem was winning
yeah.
24 minutes and 59 seconds of the fight.
But the thing is, like, man, Alistair's winning like every second of that
I
fight with
agree.
the last 10. I'd put him in between, so C in between Mir and
Okay.
Oleg.
Okay.
Forgot his name.
So
Olenek.
he's got potential there, but not quite the body of work to
Right,
earn him a B
right.
ranking. I think that's fair. Junior Dos Santos, where he put in the former heavyweight champ.
Um,
It gets
he has
hard
to
as
go
the.
probably an A ahead of Ben Rothwell.
Okay. Okay. I like
I
that.
mean, yeah, between him and the Augusta Sakai, but actually, I'll put him ahead of Sakai. Yeah,
I think that's
I
fair.
mean, just because former champion and the things he's done in his time, I don't think recently he hasn't looked that good, but you can't just overlook what he's done in the past.
Right. There's a delicate balance between sort of assessing them at the height of their career and where they are right now.
Right,
I mean,
right. But I mean,
Overeem's a good example of
when
someone who's kind of succeeded in both fronts.
agreed. But in the time as I'm looking at the record here, around the time that Alistair fought Junior, it was around the time where he was really killing it. So
Hmm. Okay, we're making good time here. Let's go down the stretch. We got 7 folks left. First,
all
these
right.
guys have fought a couple of times. Mark Hunt, possibly my favorite fighter of all time. Or are you putting Super Samoan?
Yeah, no, I love that guy. Mark Hunt. I'd put him in the B ahead of Brock Lesnar.
Okay,
I'm really showing favoritism here.
that's okay. That's okay. This is your list, Drew. Do whatever you want with it.
Right, but no, yeah, I can see the Mark Hunt and Brock Lesnar being a really great fight.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay. Roy Nelson, Big Country.
yikes.
Talk about characters. What are we doing
Yeah,
with him?
no, he's like the diet version of Derek Lewis, I believe.
Well, I don't know
Uh,
about diet, but
I know, right? Man, I'd put him C in the last. Yeah,
okay. I think that's fair.
I think he just barely made it out of D.
Okay, I think that's totally fair. Let's move on. I had to pull up this guy's name again because I keep forgetting. I don't remember this fight happening, but it's
Yeah, when's this guy's name?
Sergey Pavlovich. Overeem
Oh
beat
man,
him via first round
TKO.
TKO on the Blaydes Ngannou 2 card.
Only out of
Okay.
sheer ignorance, I'd put him in D ahead of Bigfoot.
Ahead?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's no opinion other than the fact that like I can't remember that fight, nor
No,
can I
neither can
remember
I.
it at all. So yeah,
Yeah,
just complete my ignorance.
yeah, that's okay. Again, honesty is key. Stefan Struve, and also I mean, if I feel like if you take a quick look at his record, he's not going to be in Frank Mir territory.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I put Stefan ahead of Sergey, and
yes,
unfortunately, I do know this character, but I just don't think he's good at all. Honestly, I think he still has a contract just because he's 7 foot tall.
it's definitely a selling point, and I'm not
Yeah.
mad at it. I'm a big believer that you need storylines on cards to make them more appetizing, and just having a 7 foot guy always gives it
Right. I mean,
something.
like I admired Pride in the fact that they loved the circus freak fights, and so like they had these types, right? But like no one really talks about like yeah, Stefan is kind of the circus freak fight for the UFC.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's especially at this stage very fair. I think there was a time perhaps where there were flashes of something greater, not so much now.
Right.
Okay, I hope you do right by this man. Another one of
I
my
mean, there's
favorites.
only one spot that guy can go, which is right there in S ahead of Ngannou,
S for
right?
Stipe, baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't. There's no argument that he goes right there.
Yeah. Is he the all-time greatest heavyweight?
I believe so. Yeah, yeah. As far as the amount of wins, defenses, and in the fashion that he defends,
Hmm.
it puts him in the greatest. You don't have to be undefeated to be considered the greatest. You just
I
like in
agree.
the manner of which you win your fights, like shows how great you are.
I
And Steve
agree.
Davis does a hell of a job.
I think the Habib GOAT argument is predicated on the undefeated record, but I think if you look past a recent stretch of brilliance, there's other guys in the conversation who have like more meat to their overall resume.
Right, right. Like I like the undefeated conversation, but like for me, like I would argue like the quality of fights that they
Mm-hmm.
put on, and plus the quality of the entertainment like
Mm,
Connor could be in the running just because of like the way he finishes fights and the way he sells tickets, right?
okay.
And so
Yeah.
like same thing with like Stipe, the quality of his fights, puts him higher on that list, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, this is why the GOAT conversation is kind of pointless and never ending, is because there's no sort of set criteria. Everyone's operating on their own preferences.
Right. It's
Uh,
always just opinion anyways.
exactly. Okay. And speaking of opinion, what's your opinion on Travis Brown?
Yeah, we can put him in the E or F. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see here. Travis Brown, we put him right behind Brock Lesnar in that B.
Okay. I think that's okay. I'm not mad at that. A very fun fight against.
I think in my OCD, I just wanted everything to just line up
That's
perfectly.
again. Whatever floats your boat is good with me, Drew. Okay, we got one more guy, someone who Overeem had an encounter with quite recently, and that is Walt Harris.
Walt Harris, man, that was a tough fight to watch, only considering like
Oh,
his backstory.
yeah,
It's like I have a teammate fighting his backstory. I was like, man, can they both win? Like this is painful.
yeah. That was like all credit to both guys, Overeem especially for the class, but like that ended as well as it could for Alistair, considering there was really no winning for him that night.
Right, right. Like, yeah, that was brutal, but man. So I'll put Walt, man, he deserves to be in that probably the A category. I'll put him right behind that Ben Rothwell
Okay.
and just making into the A. I mean, he's really talented. He's got a bright future, but just like fighting the vets like, Alistair and Curtis, it's a lot to swallow.
Yeah, Walt, and I mean, no judgment on it, but I think in hindsight, he should have taken more time and maybe come
Right,
back
yeah,
against lesser competition just to get back into the groove. Like,
yeah, he
you're
kind of
asking
jumped
too
in the
much.
deep end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're asking way too much of him, considering everything he's gone through. I hope him and his family are doing as well as they can be. Okay, as we wrap up here, let's take a look back through what you got. I'll give you one chance to swap things around before your picks are forever immortalized in my YouTube video.
I'm just offending heavyweights all around the
No,
world.
I know it's a big ask, but I think you did a fair job here. Let's go through the top. Stipe Miocic, Francis Ngannou, Curtis Blaydes. In the A category, you've got Fabricio Verdum, Junior Dos Santos, Augusto Sakai, Ben Rothwell, and Walt Harris. In the Bs, we got Andrei Arlovsky, Mark Hunt, Brock Lesnar, Travis Brown. Your C's are Frank Mir, Jairzinho Rosenstruik, Alexei Olenek, and Roy Nelson. And then in your D's are Stefan Struve, Sergey Papovich, and Bigfoot Antonio Silva. How are you feeling about it?
I feel pretty confident. As I'm going over this, I feel like it's a lot more opinion than actual like statistics. I mean, I feel like people are gonna call blasphemy when they see that where I put Brock Lesnar, but yeah, no, I'm pretty confident. How I see this. I think my criteria is one like again, potential entertainment value and accolades, right? You
Well,
can't just throw Brock Lesnar in the top of the mix because he held the title at one time. But I know just again like quality of wins and quality of fights. I think it really really shows where people are.
and if I remember correctly, I think I interviewed you once back when I was with Bloody Elbow, and you said you want a career like Donald Cerrone's.
Yeah,
That sort of like action entertainment value go down as one of those badass mother effers that everyone wanted to see. So I think this is a very appropriate list, especially considering what you consider a great fighter to be.
yeah, and I think it was beautiful like poetry. Last night with Dustin Poirier,
Mm-hmm.
getting that win. Like it just shows that like you don't have to be undefeated or like magical or mystic to make it to the title. It's like hard work and just entertaining fights. I mean, Dustin Poirier is always an entertaining fight, and that's the kind of career I want to have as well.
Facts. All right, Drew Dober, thank you so much for doing this. Is there anything you want to inform people about what you got going on in terms of fighting or beyond?
I mean, just shoot me a follow with, Drew Dober, Twitter, Instagram, wherever. March 6th, fighting Islam Makhachev. So tune in and, man, tune in for my fight or the 3 title fights that are also on that pay-per-view.
Insane. What a card to be a part of.
Oh, man. I can't wait to get my job done so I can sit back and watch the rest of the fight.
And a good opportunity. I mean, Makhachev was matched up with Rafael dos Anjos, right? Before that fight fell through. So, Drew's
he's a tough competitor. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's at 13 right now, but man, that's not showing his talent levels. He's a dangerous dude. So I'm taking him seriously, and I'm super excited for this fight.
He tapped out my old podcast co-host Cajun Johnson in like a minute with an armbar. So.
Oh man, yeah, he's good.
All right, shout out to Makhachev, shout out to Cajun, shout out to you, Drew Dober. Guys, if you want to follow Drew on Twitter and Instagram, please go do that, but then come right back here. If you're not already, hit subscribe, tap the notification bell, leave a like on this video. We got a bunch of cool content. Go check out UFC fighters reacting to Conor McGregor's best trash talk, UFC fighters reacting to the best backyard brawls from street beefs. We got a ton of tier lists like this too, lots of good stuff. Drew, thank you so much. We'll talk soon, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Fightful.com